I'm Priscilla Claes. I work on food sovereignty, human rights and resilience.
I'm Stefanie Lemke. I work on gender, nutrition and the right to food. We are both based at the Centre for Agroecology, Water and Resilience, CORE, at Coventry University in the UK.
In the last 2 years, we've developed collaborations with social movements and other networks in West and East Africa working on food sovereignty and collective rights.
We are interested in exploring food sovereignty and collective rights as alternative paradigms to govern natural resources.
This is really important, especially in Africa, in a context of climate change, land grabbing and increasing conflicts and struggles for natural resources at the local level.
We co-organized 2 workshops in Mali and Uganda in 2018 and 2019, together with local partners. In this video, we share the outcomes of these 2 workshops, the key topics that we discussed, the workshop methodology which enabled horizontal discussions. We will also share statements of our workshop participants on why they think collective rights are important.
We start this video with a short presentation of the UN Declaration on the Rights of Peasants and Other People Working in Rural Areas. This new and important international legal instrument recognizes for the first time the human rights to land, seeds and biodiversity.
We are in the process now of developing a larger project with our local partners. If you're interested to engage with us, please get in touch.
After a long and intense process of negotiation involving representatives from peasant organisations, pastoralists, fisherfolk, agricultural workers and indigenous peoples from all over the world, the UN Declaration on the Rights of Peasants and Other People Working in Rural Areas was adopted by the UN General Assembly in December 2018. This new international legal instrument represents a key milestone in the struggle for food sovereignty and people's control over land and natural resources. The Declaration recognises, for the first time, the human rights to land, seeds, biodiversity and food sovereignty. In the Declaration, these rights are recognised not only as individual but also as collective rights. A great proportion of the world's land and natural resources continues to be managed collectively. In addition, rural communities are often dependent on commons, such as pastoral land, forests or rangelands, for their livelihoods.
Je pense qu'il est important de sauvegarder les droits des communautés, puisque là où nous en sommes aujourd'hui, il y a l'essentiel des ressources foncières, des ressources sémencières qui sont en train d'être accaparées. Si on ne fait pas attention, demain on va se retrouver avec des sans terres, des sans semences.
Community rights are important because they respect the cultural life of communities that have existed in Africa from time immemorial.
In this era of capitalism where the trend is towards individualizing property, collective rights thus become the fallback position for most community members who have to utilize resources that they need to earn a livelihood. So be it pastoralists, be it farmers, it's important to have their rights to common resources guaranteed, because then it enables them have the means to produce and be able to support their lives.
C'est extrêmement important et qu'il faut vraiment encourager. Il faut encourager en fait la mise en place en fait de ces droits communs au niveau des différents pays. Ce n'est qu'avec ça qu'on pourra vraiment sécuriser nos ressources et pouvoir profiter en fait des revenus de ces différentes ressources.
To support the implementation of the Declaration on the Rights of Peasants and Other People Working in Rural Areas, we embarked on a journey to better understand and document how collective rights are experienced and implemented in practice. We wanted to identify promising avenues for better protecting the rights of communities that depend on land, seeds and natural resources for their livelihoods. We organised 2 workshops. The first was co-hosted with IRPAD, with participants coming from Burkina Faso, Senegal, Benin, Niger, Guinea and Mali. The second was co-hosted with the Alliance for Food Sovereignty in Africa, with participants coming from Tanzania, Kenya, Ethiopia and Uganda. Our objective was to identify research partners and research gaps in collaboration with local actors and grassroots organisations. We wanted to ensure that research priorities are relevant to local actors and co-develop with them based on their experiences.
The way the workshop itself was handled is really very nice. If you see this sign at the back, it says think outside. So I think thinking outside is really very productive.
On a pu tous participer, même si on était de disciplines différentes.
I love the women power here. I just love it. I think we had a lot of good, strong women power here. And it is the kind of thing we need in these movements. The women, coming up and speaking and being at the forefront of these struggles.
We are now in the process of developing a larger research action project that explores ongoing developments with regards to community rights over resources in Africa. We are co-designing it with participants involved in 2 workshops. We are hoping to identify ways to support the realisation of community rights over land, seeds and natural resources. We want to pay specific attention to women, the youth and other marginalised groups and their participation in how resources are governed. We also want to explore mechanisms for addressing conflicts between different users of resources.